Everybody, it is Burton Newcomb, the Realtor, here today. Today, I'm going to bring you an exclusive interview with a home inspector. We are going to look at home inspections, what he's found issues with, what to mainly look for, and different things about home inspections and what to expect. So let's get this day started and this video going. Naturally, I hope you know, and a very important part of a home buying process is getting an inspection. So here we are. Looks like the inspector already beat us here. What's your name, man?
Justin Heape.
What do you got going on?
I own a home inspection business, Heape Property Inspections.
What do you do?
Do full top to bottom home inspections.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
Actually, we were just discussing this, and it was with you on a home over in Dawson, Georgia. It got actually stuck underneath when I was crawling. It was a really tight fit.
Small crawl spaces, man. You got to be careful under there.
Started to panic. It's the first time it's ever happened. Hopefully it'll never happen again. I need to bring a shovel with me next time.
You ever ran into a snake or anything like that?
For sure. South Georgia, lots of snakes around any type of water. Creekside Drive is a bad one because the creek's right there. A lot of snakes come up from the creek. But yeah, moccasins, mostly just non-poisonous. But yeah, I've ran into 2 different snakes there.
So what do you do when you run into one of these poisonous snakes? That is my biggest fear in life, is running into a snake under a house.
Yeah, first thing I do is just freeze, because I want to figure out exactly what it is, because it's normally out of the corner of my eye or something that I see it or hear it first. And with the moisture barrier, that's when it gets bad, because they hide up under the moisture barrier.
All right, so the first thing you do is freeze.
Yeah, first thing I do is freeze. Try to figure out and assess the situation, because I'm kind of scared and wondering if it's poisonous or not. If it's not poisonous, I'm not really that afraid of snakes. Spiders get me more than snakes, but no, I've ran into one poisonous. It was a moccasin. I got it on video actually striking at me. It was pretty scary.
Oh man, you got it. Let me get that video.
Yeah,
we're gonna patch that in here.
Yeah, we'll do it.
And so what all do you check in a house?
Basically everything. You think, if you can think of it, and it's something that you might have to put your hands on if you're the buyer of the house or the seller. That's what I check, top to bottom. I'll do exterior, I'll do roof. I'll walk the whole roof. We'll do interior, then we'll do attic, and then if it's got a crawl space, we'll do crawl space.
What are your average prices?
Anywhere from, my minimum's $250 right now, all the way up to you name it. If it's a 10,000 square foot house, it gets pretty pricey, because I price based on square footage.
And crawl spaces are more or less?
Yeah, I'll add a little bit for a crawl space, just because if it's a slab, obviously I don't have to go under. If it's crawl space, I got to suit up, put my mask on, get real dirty, get stuck sometimes, see snakes and stuff. So yeah, I'll add a little bit for crawl spaces for sure.
Doesn't bother you going underneath the house? That's my biggest fear in life.
That's my job security, because a lot of people don't like doing that, and I don't mind it as long as I'm not getting stuck.
What all do you not check?
There's a couple things, like some things per insurance, they're not gonna let me be liable for going in real internal to an HVAC unit. Might mess something up. I'm not certified for HVAC, but I do. Obviously, I still test the HVAC. I'll test your temperatures. I'll check your coils and stuff like that. Electrical systems, I do basic. I'll test all your receptacles, check your panel and all that, but I'm not even technically supposed to open up the dead front and get inside and do the actual technical work that a licensed electrician would do, but I still cover everything.
What is the worst thing you've ever found on a house that you're doing an inspection on?
Oh, lots of things. It depends. I actually did one this morning. The entire roof was basically a limb had fallen on the roof, and then it had sat vacant for about 3 years, and after the limb fell through the roof, obviously moisture is going to be your biggest issue, and moisture got all in the house and basically rotted the decking, the attic, and gotten through the ceiling all the way down through the walls, and then down through into the crawl space. So that's your main thing in South Georgia, is going to be any type of moisture intrusion, and that's what I'm looking for most, because that causes the most damage, which in turn makes it cost the most for repairs.
So what are the issues you definitely don't want to find in a house that you're doing an inspection on?
I mean, there's things for every aspect. You got the roof. Major issues would be any type of moisture intrusion. The exterior, same thing. You're going to hear me say moisture intrusion a lot. because that causes, like I said, the most damage. Any kind of structural would be your most important, like your foundation, especially in a crawl space, and obviously a slab too. You want to make sure there's no major settlement to that slab if they poured the subgrade wrong or poured the slab wrong. You'll see minor settlement, which is completely fine because the slab's going to settle no matter what you do with it. But yeah, settlement issues, foundation issues, stuff like that are the big money issues.
What about termites? Do you do any termite checks, or what do you do about that?
Yeah, I'm not technically a licensed termite inspector, but that's for sure that one of the main things I'm looking for is any kind of termite damage, and I'll show it, and then I'll refer you to a pest control specialist, such as who I would refer, either Adams, maybe Arrow, are the two best in South Georgia.
Yeah. So Justin, everybody always asks me, why do I need to have a home inspection? Tell them why.
It's extremely important to have a home inspection. Obviously, that's my livelihood, but a buyer just doesn't know normally exactly what to look for when buying a home, and there could be some underlying issues in there that could be very costly in the long run if you didn't see them. So that would be my job, would be to come in before you actually went through with the purchase of the home and closed, would be to come check and make sure there's no underlying issues like major structural, major moisture issues, anything. And I cover basically everything, like I said, top to bottom, all the way down to just cosmetic issues. And then at the same time, if I'm putting all that on the report and you're able to work with the seller, that also works as kind of a bargaining tool to help with the price too, if you do find that there's a lot of stuff wrong with the house.
What about pre-inspections? How many do you have on average usually do a pre-inspection? Because I have never had anybody take my advice to do that.
Yeah, and I would highly recommend pre-inspections, because that would be as a seller hiring me, not the buyer. So the seller's trying to be proactive in selling their home, so they would do a pre-inspection and they would get me to come out before they would even put it up for sale. And that basically gives them an idea of what to expect for when the buyer comes. They can already be fully prepared, and a pre-inspection would be able to get them to knock out a couple of those things on like a list that I would make in my report. So they're not hit blindsided when they go to sell the house and a home inspector comes in and tells them all this stuff has to be fixed. They already have it done, they already have it fixed. The process will be much easier and smoother.
So how can we get a hold of you?
You just call me, 229-869-2782.
Well, there you go. Make sure to get a home inspection.